He's the man who wants to take us to Mars, save the planet with electric cars, and connect our brains to computers. He's a real-life Tony Stark, a visionary, and a controversial figure. But who is the real Elon Musk? How did a kid from apartheid-era South Africa become the most ambitious entrepreneur in the world? This is a story of genius, relentless ambition, and a burning desire to change humanity forever. And it's probably not what you think. Our story begins not in Silicon Valley, but in Pretoria, South Africa. In 1971, a young Elon Musk was a bookworm, a loner who found solace in science fiction and encyclopedias, while other kids played sports. He was devouring The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and dreaming of a future beyond Earth. But his childhood was tough. He was bullied relentlessly, and the political turmoil of apartheid South Africa was a backdrop to his isolated world. He often talks about his experiences with bullying, which made him retreat further into his own world of ideas. At just 12 years old, he taught himself how to code and created his first video game, Blastar, selling it for $500. It was a small glimpse of the genius to come, but he knew his future wasn't in South Africa. The mandatory military service under the apartheid regime was something he wanted to avoid, and he felt the country was isolated from the technological revolution happening in the West. He made a difficult decision to leave his family and immigrate to Canada, then the United States, with a dream of making it big. He arrived with nothing but a backpack and a burning passion to change the world. It was a leap of faith that set the stage for everything that followed in the late 90s. The internet was a wild frontier. Elon and his brother, Kimball, saw an opportunity and created Zip2, a company that provided online city guides. It was a grind. They slept in the office, showered at a YMCA, and worked tirelessly. Their hard work paid off. They sold Zip2 for $307 million, and Elon walked away with $22 million, but he wasn't done. He immediately used his new fortune to co-found XCOM, an online payments company. This was the beginning of what would become PayPal. The company was revolutionary, but it was also a battlefield. Elon had a vision for a complete financial services platform, but others on the team, particularly Peter Thiel, favored focusing solely on payments. The conflict was so intense that Elon was famously ousted as CEO while on his honeymoon. But the company's success was undeniable. It was sold to eBay for a staggering $1.5 billion. Elon's share, $165 million. He was now a multimillionaire and still only in his early 30s. Most people would have retired, bought an island. But for Elon, the money was a tool, not a goal. He had bigger plans. He had 3 problems he wanted to solve. 1. Make humanity a multiplanetary species. 2. Accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. And 3. To connect our brains to computers. He saw these not as business opportunities, but as existential crises for humanity. Sounds crazy, right? But he was just getting started. This was the moment he shifted from a successful tech entrepreneur to a modern-day visionary. In 2002, he founded SpaceX. The goal: to make space travel affordable and colonize Mars. Everyone thought he was insane. The aerospace industry laughed at him. He was a Silicon Valley outsider with no experience in rockets. He famously tried to buy a refurbished rocket from Russia, but the price was too high. So, he decided to build his own. SpaceX failed its first 3 rocket launches. He was on the brink of bankruptcy, pouring his entire PayPal fortune into the company. The 4th launch was his last chance. If it failed, it was all over. But it didn't. The Falcon 1 reached orbit. It was a historic moment, a turning point that proved a private company could do what only governments had done before. Around the same time, he invested in and took over a small electric car company called Tesla. The company was struggling, and again, critics said electric cars would never work. But Elon saw a different future. He pushed the team relentlessly, and they produced the groundbreaking Model S, a car that changed the industry forever. Today, Elon Musk is more than just an entrepreneur. He's a cultural icon. He's launched Starlink, a satellite internet constellation, and Neuralink, a company developing brain-computer interfaces. He's also known for his unpredictable social media presence, his controversial opinions, and his relentless drive. He's a figure that inspires and divides. His management style is legendary and often criticized for its demanding nature. He's known for working long hours and expecting the same from his teams, driven by a sense of urgency about his mission. Whether you see him as a genius or a madman, his influence is undeniable. He has reshaped multiple industries and ignited a new era of space exploration and technological ambition. He is a man who has always been an outsider, from his lonely childhood to his battles with established industries, but that outsider status has often been his greatest strength. He's a man driven by an almost superhuman belief in a better future. Whether you love him or hate him, there's no denying his impact. He is pushing the boundaries of what is possible and forcing us to ask, what is next? Because for Elon Musk, the journey has just begun, and maybe, just maybe, it ends on Mars.